Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be kicking off a new series on this channel called Worship Wednesdays. And so in this series I'm going to be talking about all things worship, how I do things, what I do, the way that I plan things, and kind of maybe give you some tips and tricks, or just discuss it with you guys. Maybe you're here and you're a worship leader, or you work in some other area of ministry, or maybe you're here and you don't even know what worship leaders do and you're just really curious. So either way, I'm so excited that you're here. So happy to have you. Today we're going to be discussing how I prepare a worship set. So I'm 22 years old. I've been leading worship for a while. I started leading for a junior high service when I was about 15 or 16. And then I started leading full-time for an adult and youth service when I was 17. But I grew up on worship teams from the time that I was in elementary school. I was on worship teams, and I've always done this, and I've always loved it. But I'm sure there are going to be people watching this that have so much more experience than I do. And if you have any tips or tricks to give me, make sure to leave a comment. I would love to hear how you guys do things. I know everybody's going to do it different, so I'm really excited to hear it. So let's jump on to our first point today. So our first point for how I prepare a worship set is prayer. What does God have for this specific congregation? That is what I always ask God. That is what I always think about. God, what do you have? That is my prayer for this week. There are so many good songs out there in the worship world, especially right now. I feel like lately the worship music has just been incredible, better than possibly ever before. But, there's so many great songs that glorify God, but what does He have for this week? And so that is always my prayer. I always believe that God has something different and something fresh all the time. So one time, just to tell you a quick story, I woke up on the morning that I always send out my worship set, and I had this song on my heart. It's called Fullness from Elevation Worship. And I love them, by the way, but I had this song in my heart, and I just kind of woke up hearing this song in my head. And I was like, man, and I just felt God saying, you need to do this song this week. I need you to do this song this week. And I was like, this doesn't normally happen quite like that so clearly. And so I was like, well, I guess I need to do this song. So I came to the office and I was playing the song, and I was like, man, I think I do, but I don't really know why. At that time, I hadn't spoken to the pastor yet about his sermon for that upcoming week. So I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know why I need to do this. And a few minutes later, the pastor came in, and again, it was Fullness from Elevation that I had in my heart. He came in and he said, Rose, I'm going to be speaking this weekend about the fullness of the promise of God. And I didn't even say anything to him about the song because I was just so shocked about what he just said, because the first line is fullness of eternal promise in that song. So it lined up perfectly with what he was speaking about. So that was just so incredible to me. And again, it doesn't always happen quite like that. It'd be so nice if it did. But sometimes it's just a feeling on your heart, or it's just God leading you to a song. Sometimes it's God placing that song on your heart. Sometimes it's hard. And it's just praying a lot about God. I've said this before, God, I honestly don't know what to do this week. I have no idea what I need to do this week. And He will always come through. Just be open and vulnerable with Him about, hey, I have no idea. I'm at a loss, because we get kind of like a writer's block type of feeling as worship leaders sometimes. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what to do. And so I think prayer is just so, so important. And as I was preparing for this video this morning, God laid this on my heart, and I thought it was so good. And it's not from me. It is entirely from God. It came out of nowhere. But He said, if you are not sensitive to what God is saying, you'll miss a lot of what God is doing. So as a worship leader, sensitivity to the Holy Spirit is number one. It is top priority. What does He have for me? What does He have for this congregation? Number two would be discuss series/sermon theme with the lead pastor or whoever happens to be speaking that Sunday or that Wednesday or whatever day you're preparing for. So discussing a series and sermon theme, that's something that maybe not every worship leader does. I like to do this because I feel like it's really important for you and whoever is speaking that day to be in unison. Worship is setting the foundation for everything that is coming after. The music worship portion. The entire service and everything we do should be worship, but the music worship portion is really setting the foundation. So you want to discuss the theme. Maybe the pastor is going to say, hey, the theme's about faith this week. Maybe you'll get really blessed and it's something that simple. Or maybe it's something that you're like, what do I sing to go along with that? There are plenty of days like that. But if you have a hard time and you're like, I don't know how to theme this, it's always a good idea to just go with, singing about the goodness and the faithfulness of God, because that's always a good thing. But also you could ask to see the pastor's full notes and read every verse that he has in his notes and all of that. And maybe something will jump right out at you. And not only is it helpful for planning a set, but it's also helpful for making sure that the service is all as one and you're all together. That's very important and something that I always try to do. So, number 3, play through different song options to see what flows best, okay? So especially if you're having a hard time making your decision about the songs for that week, some songs don't transition that well with each other. Depending on what key you sing certain songs in, it may be extremely hard to make that transition. Now, I say hard, I don't say impossible. You can always do it, always, but you just may have to be a little creative with it. So maybe if you're having a hard time, sit down, figure out what key you would do certain songs in, figure out your transitions, okay? And I can talk more about how to do that in another video, how to transition songs, because that's a big one. But figure that out, figure out the keys, and also listen to the lyrics of every song. I'm a lyric person. I love lyrics. When I write songs, lyrics are my favorite part. So listen to the lyrics. If the lyrics seem to flow nicely together, maybe you can add, a certain tag on to a certain song that just makes it even more powerful. Figure things like that out, and it'll help you to have clarity in what you're supposed to do as you're leading worship. So number 4, consider your team for that Sunday. So maybe you're at a church where you have one team and you use the same people every week. That's fine. Here at the church that I'm currently at, we have about 2 teams that we rotate, and some play every week because they enjoy doing that. But we usually have each musician and singer has weeks off. So say I'm going to do a song and a certain part of this song needs a male lead. Okay, it doesn't happen all the time, but there are certain songs that I think, man, this would sound way better. Not that it can't be done without it, but it would sound way better if I had a male to lead this part. Well, I have a male on my team that does help me with leading, and I would say, okay, I'm going to wait until this person is on the team so that I can, play to the strength of this song. So you always want to play to the strengths of your team that weekend. Of course, if God has laid a song on your heart like he does so many times, you want to make sure you're doing it no matter what. But if you're still kind of trying to figure it out, it's always good to play to the strengths of that team. Every person has their own strengths. I'm very blessed with an incredible team, and they all have incredible strengths, but everybody has their different strengths, and that's what's so amazing about a worship team coming together to worship, because we all have different strengths with our creativity, with our abilities, all different things. But it's very important, if you have a song like that you feel like would be best with a male lead, maybe wait until you have that person on that team, maybe do something different for that week. So it's important to kind of think about each person and think about their strengths as you're moving forward. So the 5th step of planning my worship set for the weekend or for a Wednesday or whatever it may be is to post the set once I get everything figured out, once I get the keys figured out, all of that for each song, to post the set to whatever planning service you like to use. I use Planning Center. I am ride or die Planning Center. I love it. I have always used it. I learned another system for a short time. Wasn't a big fan of it. I love Planning Center. It's simple. It's easy for your team to catch on to quickly. It is just simple to use. It's effective. It works, and I love it. So, make sure that you're putting it on some type of service. Now, maybe if you're a smaller church, or maybe you just don't really know what to do as far as a service goes, maybe you text your songs out to your team or something like that. That's okay, but I do encourage you, if you are, able to do this at all with the finances and everything, to use some type of a planning service. Now, it does cost to use Planning Center. I'm pretty sure it costs for any service like this. So definitely, look at your budget and see if that's going to be something possible for you, or maybe it's on down the road. But I encourage it. I encourage Planning Center. I think it's incredible. So I post my songs to Planning Center, and then I'll send out an email to let everybody that's already scheduled for that week know what the songs are. They'll be able to view the schedule. Planning Center is awesome because you can link a video and the chords and everything right there on each song, so your team can come prepared and ready to go. And that is what all worship leaders are hoping for. So it's awesome. Okay, so I've just started kind of I haven't scheduled April quite yet, but I'm just kind of starting a fake one just so nobody's names are out there because March is already fully scheduled. So you can go over here on Planning Center to schedule people. What I'm going to do right now is just add songs. So click here to add a song. Now the songs that you do will already be in here. If you need to find a song, you can go to add a new song. And it'll allow you to look at Song Select, which is what we use to find our songs, CCLI Song Select. You can go there to do that, but I'm just going to kind of put some songs in here right now. These are not really in any specific way, but this is Can't Stop Singing from Israel Houghton. So if you see right here, you can go over, you can look at what is attached already since I've already done this song. So there's a video over here, there's also lyrics, and then there's a Song Select chord chart over here for it. If you wanted to add something else, you can go over here to Files. I link a lot of YouTube videos because I like for my team to watch, you know, the teams do them, and I think that's just better that way. So you can go to YouTube, and you can, that's obviously not it, but you can kind of make it more specific here. And Covenant Worship right there, it's Israel singing this song, so you can pick which one you'd like to link. You can go back to this plan. This is April 1st, which is actually going to be Easter, so this won't be a song that I'm going to be doing. But you just go there to add more songs, and you can add however many you want. A cool thing about Planning Center is that you can do a full, you know, order of service on here. So I can kick off the service with a countdown. I can put a time on it, which I haven't done right now. Just put it up there, and I'll put the time for 9:55. So anyway, I'm not going to be using this, and I'll kind of go into that more in another video. But once you get all your songs, you know, you'll have your people already scheduled. They'll show up over here on this side, and then you're going to click email. You can just click all scheduled people. There are none right now, but you'll be able to send your email out, and it automatically puts your signature on it. You can type whatever you want in the email box. You can also schedule your rehearsals, which is really awesome. This would be the Thursday before because our rehearsals are on Thursday at 7. So it automatically does that because I have it set that way. So those are 5 steps of how I plan and prepare my worship sets. Now I can get more into Planning Center in another video. I don't want to like throw everything I've ever done at you in one video because Planning Center, I know it very well and I think it's simple, but when you first start, I'm sure it can be complicated and it's a learning curve like anything else. So I'm going to have a lot more videos like this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what planning service you like to use. I know there are so many out there in this day and age, and I'd love to hear about them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'm praying for you and your ministry. If you're a worship leader, I'm praying for you, praying for your teams. God bless you guys, and I'll see you later.